fishing, it's in my soul.
Welcome to the Salt Strong Podcast, disrupting fishing entertainment as you know it. Prepare to laugh. Prepare to get to know fishing legends in a whole new and unfiltered way. And on occasion, you might even learn a thing or two about fishing. Here's your host, Joe Simons. Like diamonds.
What's up, guys? Joe Simons, like diamonds. Couple things. First, I want to apologize for this podcast on the audio side of things. Luke and I went out. It was a completely live, unfiltered. It was too good not to share. Luke had a couple little times where his microphone was going in and out a little bit. You might hear that there, so I just want to apologize in advance. But this was too good not to share. So many learning lessons in this podcast. Number two, the slot machine rod. It is out. We had the first few hundred go live on our shop, fishstrong.com. They sold out like within hours. And if you don't know about the slot machine rod, that is the rod we've been custom building here for a couple of years, literally. And it is finally out. It is the best rod you can ever use for speckled trout and redfish and snook and flounder for an inshore saltwater rod. There's nothing that beats it. Even, Mudhole, who helped make it with us, who, Mudhole's one of the largest rod builders in the entire country. I mean, they said just based on the components and how it was built, it's about a $450 rod all day long, like retail. And so we're not selling it for $450. Good news, we're at like $350, but we even give $100 off of that to get it down in the $250 mark for our insider members. Just one more reason to join the club. If you're not a member, make sure to go to fishstrong.com and get on the notification list, because we will notify you if you're on that list first when we get the next few hundred of these rods in, which should happen very, very soon. You do not want to miss out. And the cool part is, just that one rod purchase pays for your entire membership for the year. That was the goal with this whole rod. So when you feel it and you see how much further you're casting, when you see how much better hook sets you're getting and more fish you're catching with this rod, it is far superior, I guarantee, to anything that you are using. We have never used a rod of this superiority. It is flat out amazing. That is the slot machine rod over at fishstrong.com. And now here is the episode. To Riz out, cold water trout, kids. Joe Simons, Luke Simons, back in action, going live. Not too bad of a trout here in the Slam Shady 2.0 with the jig head. We actually started off a little bit shallower, and we moved our way. Come here, buddy. There you go. Beautiful little speckled trout there. The jig head hooked right perfectly in the mouth. Oh, come on. At least I say that. There we go. There you go, buddy. There it is. Slam Shady 2.0. Confidence bait. And we saw some birds out here. A little bit deeper water. So let's put the jig heads on, take off the old weedless hooks. See what we can catch out here. We also saw a osprey come up with a bigger trout than I just caught. So far, osprey is leading the way.
About 30 feet from the boat when the thing hit the water, too.
Boom! Yeah, so we're here in Tampa, St. Pete area on a really cold day.
Yeah, very, very low tide and negative tide. You can see the shoreline and a bunch of birds up there. Usually there's water all the way up to those mangroves, and it's all dry. So we have a lot of life here. And the fact that it's been cold and the water's so low, we're just out on the far outside edge of this flat. And there's some trout down here starting to finally start feeding. We were up there shallow looking for reds and snook. We had a couple follows, but they just wouldn't hit. So we're gonna let them warm up a little bit. And
so already a lesson. Oh, Luke just had one there. Is if you're on a cold day like this, especially, and you're not catching anything shallow, just go to look. You can see the channel marker. There's another hit right there. Go to right where that little flat meets the channel and the edge, and we were right on the edge, what we talk about all the time, and you're usually going to find some trout, especially, I got another hit there, especially if you see a lot of those birds. You can hear the birds if you're listening to this podcast. That's such a way to at least get some tight lines while you wait on the water to push up, which is what we are doing. And Luke's got power prawn on a what jig head?
Weedless football.
Fourth?
Quarter ounce.
Yeah. Oh, Luke's on. He's just a little guy. You on the bottom?
Yeah, bouncing bottom. They're very lethargic right now. One of the coldest evenings we've had in quite a while.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another trick, is just making sure you have enough weight to get on the bottom. I love going through the community, and I love the fact that so many of our members are just transparent on the amazing days, meaning they share exactly what they're using, all the tips and tactics, where they were, but also on the tough days. And those tough days are really some of the best learning ones. And a lot of times we start asking questions. All right, well, tell us, about the scenario. What was the depth? What was the tide doing? What were you using? And so many times, right, Luke? Luke talks about it more than anyone. It's just depth control. Oh, it hadn't. There. Oh, man, there's a bunch of them down there, right in the bottom. It's just the importance of having the right jig head or weighted hook or whatever you're using. If you look at Luke's tackle bag, right, Luke, it's
different jig heads and weighted hook.
Oh, I got my tail. Well, that might not be a bad thing. That might not be a bad thing.
Yeah, that's a big mistake too. A lot of people have their tail torn off, like what just happened with Joe. And in this 2.0, as long as it's designed right, it'll work good without the tail. It'll have a nice darting motion. In many cases, that'll actually work better. Oftentimes when they're lethargic like this, they're not hungry. They're almost in survival mode. And when it gets super cold, they're not very hungry. Their metabolism slowed down. But if they see a little small, looks like a shrimp kind of darting right in front of them, it'll just get a little instinct bite. And you can see that's what we're doing. We're just letting it get to the bottom, twitching it up. Looks like, again, a scared shrimp or a little small bait fish popping off the bottom. And even if they're not hungry, they're, oh man, that was a better fish. Even if they're not hungry, they're going to take a smack at it.
Right down here below the boat. So once again, if you're listening, we're right next to the channel marker. Right next to the channel where the flat meets a little bit deeper water.
Yeah, we had a couple big boats buzz by just a little bit ago. Some good wakes.
If you're wondering why we haven't done a live on the water, or I guess we've only done one or so this year so far, it's because we have been crazy busy. We got the new slot machine rods. Me in particular, been meeting with contractors, and the new Salt Strong / Fish Strong headquarters is getting closer, my friends. I am so pumped for you guys to see it. It is almost 2 acres, on the water on a pretty popular lake in Winter Haven, Florida. And we've got tackle store with a lot of new items that we've been working on. So I've been all over the place, meeting with people, testing out new items for the store, and obviously we'll still ship them as well. But we'll have a lot of new stuff we've never had, from apparel and hats to coolers and sunglasses and all kinds of new tackle. And of course, Insider members save 20% off in the store as well. That was a question that came up. So even when we have our Founders Club party and our Insider Kickoff party, which we will not share the date here publicly on a podcast because only our members are invited. But yes, we will have the store open and everything will be 20% off in the store, with the exception of, reels, which you guys know we're now doing. I'm going to bite a little bit more of this tail off. We're now doing free shipping, free line spooling, and free line on our reels, which is pretty stinking awesome. I've used it myself.
Yeah, it's real convenient.
Yeah.
Just actually, open up the box when it comes to you, and the reel is fully loaded with lines.
Osprey's got a little pinfish in his.
It strikes like almost every cast.
I know, they're just.
I had one big one right about where you are.
I bet you did there, Bob. Oh. Yeah, and of course, if you're on the chain of lakes, you can pull your boat right up to our property. We've got a dock, working on getting a new dock. The dock in existence it's okay. There's Luke with the truck. Oh.
Got a hook in them.
We're going to get a new trout and have an area for, what's a nice one there? Whoa, quick release. For kids fishing, even an area for wheelchairs. Have a little wheelchair stand where wheelchairs can pull up and have a little fishing rod.
Good stuff there.
Yeah, we're so pumped. Speaking of that, we got a Cast for Kids event coming up in it's May.
Yeah.
Right, Luke? First week in May, I think. In Carabel, Florida. Got Captain Chip Levine is helping put that on. We sponsored it and paid for it all. And now we just need some volunteers and some good peeps to go. If you haven't been to one of those events, man, it is awesome. I mean, you will cry is the only bad news. I mean, just
Good cry.
Yeah, good cry. I mean, so many of these, it's handicapped kids, from, kids in wheelchairs to kids with Down syndrome, et cetera. And many who have never been fishing before, either the parents don't have the means or just haven't had the time or whatever, been in hospitals in and out and surgeries. And this is just a time for them to get out and fish, some from boat, some just want to go from shore on a pier and take some shrimp. And it is so cool. The smiles and the memories and how excited these young kids are. So if you can make it, Carabel, come join us. Oh yeah, baby. JoJo is home. Oh yeah. Bring them up, Sally. All right, another little triz out. So that was on the Slam Shady 2.0 without the tail, the tailless, just popping it off the bottom, 1/4 ounce jig head. Look, he's just barely, do you hear what I was about to say there, Joel? Barely hooked. Popped right off. Well, it's better for conservation. Don't even have to touch the truck. Quick release. Speaking of conservation, what the heck is going on? We got back from a cruise and actually went no internet until the very, very end. This was a 6-day cruise, which is the longest I've ever done with the family. And we had a blast, by the way, the Bahamas and Mexico. And the last day I got internet, just kind of catching up on everything. And so someone had posted in the community about this, massive bed / mat of weeds that's coming to Florida. And it's like half the size of the U.S. or so. I don't know. Didn't even make sense. And I'm like, is this a joke? Is it April Fool's already? What in the world, dude? So where is it right now?
I'm not even sure. It's supposed to be in Florida, like down around the Keys or something pretty soon.
Golly. That's just wild. That stuff does stink. But I mean, the bad part of it is, it's so big, it actually doesn't allow sunlight to get through it and drowns out some areas that, kind of rely on sunlight. Obviously for tourism, it's not good because it comes in the beaches. It's horrible for surf anglers for obvious reasons. And heck, just to clean all that up would cost a fortune if it all ends up hitting Florida. But it sounds like it's going to hit east end, like it's going to hit everything, like it's just going to surround Florida, or?
I'm not sure. I mean, I heard somebody say it's like half the size of the U.S. and then I saw a report. It was that it's the size of Okeechobee, something like that. So that's a pretty big difference. So I'm not sure what's true and what's not.
Either way,
definitely a lot of it. But it's normal to have that sarcasm. It's normal to have some around, but it's apparently just a giant blob of it.
If you guys don't know, I mean, that's what we kind of rely on when we're out there in the Keys. Ooh, that was a nice hit there. And going after dolphin, even, triple tails sometimes hang up underneath it, but I mean, it's a living ecosystem. If you take a little bait net, like a little dip net, and take a little bit out and really inspect it, I mean, you'll see little crustaceans and little shrimp in there. I mean, it's so cool. This thing is just a living, breathing, floating ecosystem, which is why a lot of the snapper and all these other fish and mahi-mahi hang around it. It's just kind of a food source. But never have I seen one that big. And we've seen some pretty long ones, but to have something that wide and that massive is really wild. So it'll be interesting to see what happens with that.
Plan was, I wanted to just let the water warm up a little.
There we go. JoJo's on. Oh yeah, double trouble. Come on, baby. Woo, baby. Pretty little trout. Come on. Yep. All right, we found the little honey hole.
That's big one down there. The plan was to.
Hold on, little buddy. I got you. There you go. Still on the same Slam Shitty 2.0 without the tail. And I got a little Dr. Juice that I put on there earlier. Still working. I don't even know if you need it right now. To Luke's point, I think these fish are just down there hitting anything that gets in their face.
Reaction strike right now. So yeah, my plan was to come out here, let the plants warm up a little bit where all those birds were. But we have, looks like 4 waders coming down, maybe 5. And they're coming down this way. I always like to give them.
Well, yeah, you know what? We will give them the right of way. If they want to wade, I mean, it was 48 degrees when I left the house to go to the ramp. 48. And that's cold for Florida.
I do a lot of wade fishing. It's super frustrating when a boat comes up and basically like flies the spot. So we'll probably end this here pretty soon, and we'll wrap around. There's some good docks that I want to try out. We can do that.
Yeah, so let's talk about a couple other things. New lure.
Yeah.
We got a couple new lures, but one that is getting closer and closer. We put out a video for our members to be able to name it, and we had, what was it, like 2,000? That was a nice little hit.
1,600.
Different names that came in. And I think we got a final name. Is it official?
Yeah, but at least I believe so. There's still some more votes that need to be tallied, but this one's got a pretty good lead. Skinny Lipper.
Skinny Lipper.
Yeah, we pulled that lure out.
Oh. The Skinny Lipper. So it is a lip bait. It goes in skinny water. It's also Skinny Dipper, the name, if you didn't catch it. And, yeah, the team really liked that one. There's a few other ones that were really, really funny. There's a couple other that was great, but already had been, trademarked and stuff. So if you're wondering, oh man, why didn't they pick mine? Mine was better than that. That was the case. We did trademark research and just making sure that, we're not gonna have to change the name or get in trouble. So that was the one that the whole team really agreed on and was funny, and the old Skinny Lipper. Oh, I got one down right here, actually. Luke, if you want to grab that one. Yeah, Luke had a really nice redfish right when we got out here. He was just playing around with it, and redfish came right up to the boat, following it.
Yeah, so here is the lure reveal. So it basically floats. It's almost like a blend between a topwater. Let me get a better grip on it. So it's like a topwater and like a subsurface jerkbait. It floats, and then that small little lip, right, when you jerk it, it just goes down just on the water a few inches, floats back up, and the fish can't resist it. Well, check this out. Let's show you right here. It basically does a nice little twitch, almost like walks a dog underwater. And so far, this thing is free here. Get some good results. We'll go fish our way back. When we came up earlier, there were a bunch of egrets and cranes up on this flat right here. And obviously that means a lot of life.
Still hear birds diving. Now Joel won't be filming right into the sun, huh?
Thumbs up. We can give it another shot. Give these waders that rest of that twirling.
Of course, we do go by and moon the waders just so we're all on the same page. Yeah, it's just kind of fishing 101 rules. Yeah, we were just speaking of boating safety before we went online. I don't know if you guys heard about the double drowning in Winter Haven. It's really close to our office, and yeah, it's just sad. And you know, it was, but also I think eye-opening for a lot of people, and just the importance of boating safety and knowing what you're doing before you get behind the wheel of or even if you're just a passenger, because that's kind of how the whole thing started. The passenger didn't know that you could just throw the anchor down and tie off to a cleat. Instead, she jumped in with the anchor, fortunately not tied to her wrist or anything. That would have obviously been really bad. She was the only one that actually made it. The two guys jumped in to save her. But I mean, just a simple thing like that, that I think a lot of us take for granted, but there's people out there that were able to rent a boat and had no idea. And it's so sad that we lost, two people, and there's a father of 3 young kids and no longer, here. And man, it pains me just having my, 3 kids, and it was so brutal. But yeah, just the importance of boating safety and teaching your kids boating safety. I mean, because had the 11-year-old even had a little bit of knowledge, she could have cranked up the boat and just gone and picked him up. Instead, she let the boat drift away, and to the point she couldn't see the dads anymore, and they both went under. So sad. So sad. Oh.
Yeah, just be careful, even on a lake, it can get dangerous if people aren't aware of.
Yeah, that was just 20-mile-an-hour winds. So you had little white caps, so it wasn't like something you'd see in the ocean. And that's all it took. One wave, you swallow a little bit of water and you're not the best swimmer. They both knew how to swim, but they weren't great swimmers. And boom. Done. What I didn't realize is, once you go under, how long you go under. It took them multiple days, and they still never surfaced. They weren't even on the bottom, Luke. They were almost hovering. And, even lakes have, little currents, and they were literally just kind of hovering a few feet above when they found them. So they weren't like stuck in the muck. Isn't that wild? They literally just kind of hover and were hundreds of yards from where they actually went in, where the whole incident happened. And I guess your body fills up with water and just kind of, you're almost like buoyant down there until you get enough and your organs expand, and then you come up and you're all bloated a couple of days later. Really, really wild. And a lot of it had to do with water temperature. I learned a lot about drownings during this. Because it once again happened right here in our town. It was kind of the talk of the town for a little bit. But yeah, I think it's going to open up the doors personally, which I think is a good thing for these boat rental companies to not only be a little bit more liable, but, just to ensure that people are going through like the proper safety training. There's a funny YouTuber out there, and it's called The Credit Card Captain. Have you seen him, Luke? He's just kind of got like a monotone voice, but he's very, very witty. And he's over in Daytona Beach, where we used to boat. And he goes under one of the bridges that has a boat rental place, and he calls them credit card captains, meaning all you have to do to be a boat captain is have a credit card that's active. And he essentially films these people kind of like a qualified captain type of a thing, and not necessarily just to make fun of them. A lot of it is education, like, hey guys, if this happens to you, here's what to do. But it is sad that just anybody with a credit card, for the most part, can get on a boat and drink alcohol, because there was certainly some alcohol involved in this incident and a lot of the incidents that he's filming. I mean, you can see them drinking because they don't know that there's someone filming them. Golly. And none of us want that, right? With our kids out there and ourselves out there, you don't want boaters out there who have no idea what they're doing and are out there boozing. So stay safe is the name of the game. We're going to go try to catch some reds and snook for sure. Those waders out there, man, are cold dudes. To try to complete the slam here. In a new little area. Thankfully too that we haven't seen any signs of red tide down here. Did it ever hit this area?
Yeah, definitely hit this area.
That's what I thought.
Okay.
Okay.
The whole area got hit pretty good last month and a half, 2 months. It's been off and on. But a lot of times fish just pull up into little creeks. There's a big creek system pretty close by. I assume that's where they were. And so I want to target some docks that are closer that way.
Let a little bit more water flow in here. Look how low that dock is. You should see the ramp this morning. That was wild, dude. I mean, we're in Luke's little 17 Maverick, and that it was barely floating. At the end of the very end of the dock on the ramp. 12, 14 inches of water. That was wild. Well, cool. We're going to also film a couple of new little tutorials on the smart fishing spots and how we're using it to find new spots like this. And really, really cool news coming on that. I can't share it just yet, but know that there's going to be a lot more spots, a lot more smart spots, and also integrating the smart fishing tides better. We've just been listening to all the requests and even, talking about getting an actual app in the app store. That has been a request. Obviously that takes a while, but a lot of the other stuff we can do pretty quickly just in terms of the overall user experience. So keep the feedback coming. We love it and know that we are working on it. So if you're not a member, what the heck are you waiting on? Someone to take you by the hand and show you where to fish and save money on your tackle? Huh? Well, if that sounds like you, come join us at saltstrong.com, the Insider Club. We've, I think we're over 36,000 members now, right? Officially? Yeah. So almost 37. We had our biggest month ever of the last 30 days. A couple thousand new members joined. And I remember the days, Lukey, where we only had 2,000 members, and it took us over a year to get there. And it's so crazy to think in 1 month we had 2,000 members. So
so much cooler stuff.
Oh gosh, night and day. Even the community. I mean, I love spending time before we hit the water. I was spending some time there. I love going in there now and seeing what people are catching. I'm learning from it constantly. It's really, really neat. So if you haven't joined the community yet, it's also for Insider members only. But if you are a member, get in there. We're also doing some pretty awesome giveaways. I mean, last month we gave away a Daiwa Exist to one lucky member. It's a $900 reel. This month we're giving away 3 different pin reels. Next month, I can't tell you what it is, but it's going to be a pretty awesome one. It'll be probably about $1,000 worth of stuff we're giving away. So come join us. Got local chapters starting very soon. We're really excited about that. And I think Mark's got 4 already lined up with chapter presidents and venues, etc. So a lot of cool stuff happening. So guys, appreciate you big time, and we will talk to you on the next episode. Peace.
On to new spots.
Woo.
'Cause fishing, it's in my soul. It was passed down to me from the days of old. To find us on the water, if there was a way. It's been said my papa, he wrote the book on catching big reds and 20-pound snook. I wish I knew all the things he knew today. so